Coming up today on the Spiel.
My grandmother was raising me. We all lived in a family home. And at 6, I was placed in foster care.
She's going to make us a Kentucky Derby pie.
Right.
Pie. Okay.
Kentucky Derby pie.
You know, my wife was in college and we were struggling, you know, financially trying to get everything done. And I think everything just came together and I absolutely had to come apart.
When you share, but no more, baby. We had a rhythm that beats in our heart.
This is the Spiel.
Here we go.
Did you know that Prairie Farms cows work 365 days a year and never take a vacation? Locally owned, locally produced, 100% real dairy, Prairie Farms. Did you know that Prairie Farms Dairy is owned by over 600 farm families? Locally produced, 100% real dairy, Prairie Farms. Check out our website at prairiefarms.com.
And welcome to another incredible episode of the Spiel. And first of all, two things are kind of different. We never open in the Spiel in the kitchen, brought to you by Prairie Farms, and we never open with Ron Duguid. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Ron Duguid, you are the general manager of Prairie Farms Carbondale. Wow. And you've been the manager for
55 years.
Wow. Do you see any slowing down yet?
No.
You've seen a lot of products come and go, haven't you?
A lot of them, yeah. This last year has been a challenge because of the COVID, but the USDA had a food program, and that really kept all of our employees employed all the time through, and it worked out real good for us.
That's awesome. Of course, we got together about 10 years ago as a partnership with the Spiel and Prairie Farms, which we thank you so much.
It's worked out fine for all of us.
It has. It's really cool too because that's all the products that we use is Prairie Farms products. But you and I go back a long way.
Long way.
How I met Ron was when my family moved to Royalton when I was in 4th grade. Ron and his family lived right across the street from our home. So I kind of grew up with his girls, 2 daughters. And I'll never forget they're parked. Was it your dad's or your grandpa's old Prairie Farms truck?
Yep, my grandpa's. He was a cream hauler for Prairie Farms at the time.
Is that what that truck was for?
Yep.
I knew it was there forever. Were you just saving it? It wasn't working, was it?
No, they quit handling cream down here in the late 60s, so he just parked the truck. I think he eventually sold it to somebody.
Oh, that was my next question. I thought it was still in the family.
No, it was gone. I wish it had been because it was a nice old truck.
It was, you know what? That truck to me represented Carbondale because I knew Carbondale's plant was going on when I was young, but that truck right there was like, that's my milk, that's my butter, but it was a cool truck.
You know, my grandpa hauled cream to Prairie Farms. My dad hauled milk to Prairie Farms. And I started working for Prairie Farms. So there was 3 generations of us.
Wow, that is awesome.
Prairie Farms.
55 years.
55 years.
Do you see any slowing down?
Just a little.
A little?
The age is catching up.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. We're in for a big show. We got incredible guests today. Incredible guests. So stay with us.
Hey, there's still a lot more of this show to come.
And my mom, you know, of course, with her diagnosis, she must didn't realize or even think that, you know, that I was being exposed to this or that, you know, I was seeing it, but I was.
Coming up later.
I hope yours is a happy one, full of sunshine too.
I think there's a lot of things that veterans enjoy in their normal daily life, but they lose a lot of that when they're going through that PTSD.
But the whole health aspect gives us options. It gives us options like maybe I don't have to take a pill for this. Maybe I can work on myself with meditation and with yoga.
Giving your mind something to distract and interrupt those thoughts, I think, is important, and that's what the whole health team helps you do.
So it's really about giving control and power back to somebody when they're already feeling powerless.
The most passionate part, I think, that I've gotten involved in is where either a product or a person has really done just ridiculous wrong to either one person or a group of people. Where there's a true wrong and everybody can see it. I really just can stay up all night without any help, without any coffee, just because I'm driven to solve those cases. We'll find a way, a legal way.
In the military, we're always taught to push forward, to push through the pain. You're always taught to focus on the goal.
Helping those veterans to figure out the next steps in their lives. They feel that they have renewed hope. Their stress and anxiety are decreased.
It taught me to make time for myself. You may see challenges in your life, but you have that stability and knowing who you are and where it is that you are in relation to what it is that's going on around you.
And welcome back. Today we have an author who has wrote an incredible book that has touched my heart. I lived through some of this, and I'm sure there's so many who hasn't told their story yet. You don't want to tell this story most of the time. Ruth Proctor from North Carolina came into the show today, and she has a book called I Survived, You Can Too. What haven't you gone through, Ruth?
Just surviving so much as a kid, as an adult, but still pushing through. And, you know, we tend to cope.
Yes.
So much. And no matter what has come my way, I try to just continue to push forward.
Can we go back to hit some beginning stuff, how your life just rolled down that hill and got worse and worse?
Yes. So at the age of 5, my mom was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar. My grandmother was raising me. We all lived in a family home. And at 6, I was placed in foster care.
Did your siblings go with you, or was you split?
I had a newborn brother, and he went with me.
Okay, good.
And my brother's father molested me while I was with my mom after my grandma died.
And you were how old?
I was 5, probably for about a year while she was at work. That's what was happening.
Oh, my.
And they exposed me to too much. And my mom, you know, of course, with her diagnosis, she must didn't realize or even think that, you know, that I was being exposed to this or that, you know, I was seeing it, but I was. And when I went to foster care, I was in 3 homes. The first home was a loving home with a mother and a daughter, with 2 daughters. And that was a very nice home, but we were only there temporarily, 3 weeks. Okay. And then we were placed into another home with about 10 kids in a big home, and I was terrified. And it was a farm home, so I didn't know when I got there that farm across the street, I would be picking peas, beans, and, you know, all different vegetables as a part of being the daughter there. And I was placed in the attic, and that's where I slept every night. That was very, very terrifying for me, but I'm grateful for God.
Oh, amen.
I'm grateful for God.
Who introduced you to God? Who?
Our family we grew up in the church, so I always have known God.
So that seed was there
yes.
as you went through all your heartaches and hardships.
Yes.
And then what? Can we skip ahead to your teen years?
Yes. So at 11, my cousin adopted us, me and my brother. And, a loving home, husband and wife, very established business owners. And I was exposed to a lot of great things, put into sports, able to do modeling. And at 14, I began to work.
So those were kind of good years.
Yes.
You had some good years in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely had some good years with them. Her nephew, which was my cousin, because she's my blood cousin. And then he, started to come on to me and, tried to touch me.
Blood cousin.
Blood cousin. And I was able to say, that's not right.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And he left me alone. But I was able to, walk away from those situations, thank God.
When you were early and this was happening, did you know it was wrong? Did you
Yes.
feel it? Okay.
I knew it was wrong.
Okay.
When I was in foster care and the foster parent's grandson was touching me, his main thing was, if you tell, you're going back to foster care.
Oh, yeah.
And so I knew that this was the third home I've been to. I didn't want to keep switching. I didn't want them to separate me and my brother. So I didn't tell. When social services would come and pick me up, and they asked me how am I doing, I would say I'm fine. Because I knew the ramifications of going to another home
Right.
and being split.
Right. How did what you've gone through, which is so much, affect a marriage?
Oof. I think a lot of times we don't realize that childhood trauma affects us in adulthood. And that childhood trauma, if it's not dealt with, we tend to allow things that we normally wouldn't allow if we were taught correctly.
Right.
And my father was there.
Right.
And because I didn't have my parents, I allowed a lot. I allowed too much. And so it definitely affected my marriage. It allowed me to, stay with a man that I knew I wasn't supposed to stay with too long, or allow things that I knew wasn't right to continue. And until I got my voice, until I was able to say, you know what, this is not right, and I'm not allowing this, and I'm leaving. But I definitely took too much because of my past.
Did you have to counsel? Did you go through counseling?
Yes, I went through therapy this time around with my marriage, and deciding to leave my husband. I knew I needed to get help, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and just to make sure that I healed correctly to be a great mom.
I can't wait to dive into your book here. I Survived, You Can Too. What was a turning point? What made you write this book?
I would say when I got to college, so many people just kept saying, your story is amazing. You got to write a book. And I was like, no, I'm not writing a book. And I just kept pushing it back. And I kept hearing the voice of God, eventually say, you got to write. Mm-hmm. And in 2001, when I started college, my girlfriend gave me a journal. And she said, start writing. And I started journaling. And so I started, reliving some of those journal entries and realizing, wow, this is a lot. And eventually, those journal entries now became to be a book. I would say the last 2 years, I really was like, okay, I'm going to do the book.
I Survived, You Can Too. How can folks get this book?
ruthproctor.com, and it is on Amazon as well under books.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Was it hard?
Yes. People don't realize that when you're writing about your life, you're reliving it.
I know.
So it was therapeutic, but I had days where I was like, I can't write today. It's too emotional. The part that I'm on, I can't take it today. And I had to have grace with myself. And I think that we're so much in the space of, we got to do it, you got to get it done. But we have to have grace when it's traumatic stuff like this.
And you know what? A lot of folks are too embarrassed.
Yep.
They're just too embarrassed.
Oh, yeah. Majority of people that talked to me was like, you need to do the book. It's amazing. Your story will help people. But, when your own spouse is saying, this is embarrassing, this is too much, it makes you think that. It makes you second guess your decisions. Sure. But I thank God I was able to continue to keep pushing and keep writing.
And there's another book coming.
Yes, ma'am. I have a workbook coming and a journal coming, and it will be all about just being able to push forward and push past and kind of pulling out those pieces, those survival tips that's in the book, and so that it can continue to help others along the way. Adolescents, children, adults can read this book and will be able to use this book for techniques, for interventions with any diagnosis and anything that they may go through in life.
If you could have one key tip to tell a child at home,
yes,
boys or girls,
yes,
who's going through this, what would you say to them?
Speak. Speak until someone hears you. If you tell someone and they don't do anything, you need to tell somebody else. But you have to speak. Do not keep it in, and don't bottle it up, because it's not going to be healthy emotionally or physically. Speak. Please speak.
And it's not your fault.
Nope, and it's not your fault.
Let's just get to the now.
Yes.
2 girls, and
yes,
you're feeling good.
I feel
you're
so amazing.
Looking good.
Thank you so much.
You got to get this book, folks. This would be great in school libraries. Yes. Yeah. So teachers, principals, whoever's watching, get this book, because some kids need it. It happens more than you know.
Yep. And the main thing is that I'm able to change one person's life. It was worth it. If one kid can speak, if one person that was hurt can speak, it's worth it. It's worth it to me. Every pain, every tear that I cried is worth it.
I'm so glad I got to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
I wish so much Angie could be here,
Yes.
but you know what? You're coming back on that second book,
yes,
aren't you?
I'm coming back. I would love to be back. I'm grateful for you to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Coming up next.
And we're going to just lift, push up, and back down. And these are called Cobra push-ups. And we're going to do about 15. You can do 12 to 15 reps.
Stick around. Coming up later.
This is not how I should be living. There has got to be something out there that can change.
That you feel.
Yes. And why is this medicine not working?
This will give you the ability to chew and eat just like you have a third set of teeth. Over the course of the past 20 years, I became trained in implant dentistry. Those surgeries can be very invasive. IV sedation is an ideal thing for those patients that are having more invasive procedures. The doctor needs to be well trained. You need to have a trained staff to get through their appointments smoothly and comfortably.
See the leader in dental implants and sedation dentistry, Hughes Dental Arts Center.
The biggest thing is we want people to feel safe to come to the clinic and be seen. And it's so important, just like every year, especially this year though, to get the flu shot. CDC is recommending you get it at the end of October. We already have flu shots in stock, and we're willing to start administering those. But definitely follow up with your healthcare provider to get a flu shot. That's so, so important, especially going in this season. We're going to continue to have COVID infections as well.
Hey guys, if you like the show, follow us on all of our social media.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now it's cute.
What's up guys? Welcome back to another 5 minutes of movement. So let's start on our stomachs, and we're going to pull our wrists close to our ribs, kind of hug our ribs with our wrists. And we're going to just lift, push up, and back down. And these are called Cobra push-ups. And we're going to do about 15. You can do 12 to 15 reps. We're gonna do these 3 times through. You're just pushing, really lifting yourself up off the mat. Think one vertebrae at a time. Instead, you're on your stomach. And so now we are going to kind of go into a plank, keep our knees down. And I am going to twist my arm all the way up. Make sure once I lift up my arm, I stack my shoulders on top of each other and get that straight, continuous line. And this will work your obliques pretty well. Do that about 12 to 15 times, and then switch to the other side. Again, 12 to 15 times, and now we're gonna go back onto our stomach. Reach your hands in front of your head. Lift your head up off the ground just a little bit. And these are called like snow angels. It's gonna be a good back workout. Keep your ankles together. It looks kind of funny, but it gets the job done. All right, we are burning our upper body today. That's what I really wanted to focus on. So you're going to pull your elbows into your ribs and reach out. What you're reaching toward would be where the wall and the ceiling meet is a good place to look. After you do about 30 seconds of that, then reach over your head and slow. Act like you're pulling something down. You can even make a fist as you're pulling down, and that is all. Do 12 to 15 reps of each movement, and then when you get to your arm work, aim for 30 seconds and do that 3 times through, and you have your 5 minutes. And that's all it is. A lot of upper body work today, but you got this.
Do you have goals in life? Notice how I said goals and not goal. Once I had a goal to lose over 400 pounds. And when that happened, I thought, yes, that's it. I've done it. But then life happened and I ended up regaining 200 pounds. But thank God for second chances, because that's why I'm standing before you today, 150 pounds lighter. Are you ready for your second chance? I'm Wise Man Justin. I have lived it and can help you through it. Follow me on social media and share your story, because you matter too.
So I'm a psychiatrist. I've been doing this for about 40 years. I believe very strongly everyone can benefit from talking to a good psychiatrist. Does not mean you're crazy, but what it means is that you're concerned about the quality of your life.
There is a huge need for behavioral health in rural communities. We are doing a combination model of in-person visits as well as telehealth visits.
Mental health is very important. We are here. Call us. If you can't come in, we'll see you on telepsych. Christopher provides those services and we'll be happy to see you.
The Spiel presents You're On, 100% original new music.
Rain falls from the sky, but is it tears from up above, washing away the pain that comes from a broken love? We were two stars in the night that fades into day. Holding on, knowing you can stay. When you share, but no more, baby. We had a rhythm that beats in our heart. No more dance, no more going crazy. We never knew we could fall so far. It was a time, but the time was gone. Now we're dancing the our own song. It was a time, but the time was gone. And now we're dancing to our own song. I hope yours is a happier one, full of sunshine too. shine too. I have not found mine yet. Now it's something that I can't do. Wish we could have one more day, make it last forever. Wish we could have one more day, you and I together. One more day, one more day, last forever. One more day, we could have one more day, together. Wish we could have one more day, make it last forever. Wish we could have one more day. 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 Wish we could have one more day.
On behalf of the DuQuoin Chamber and the people of DuQuoin, and actually all around Perry County, we appreciate the hard work that you and your team have done and for your response to the COVID-19 testing that you do. And it sounds like you guys are all growing too. You guys are taking something and you're transitioning to the next level of what you feel like is needed in your community, and we really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, you guys.
So good morning, I'm Dr. Kirk Overstreet. I am the president of John A. Logan College. We're here at John A. Logan this morning to stick it to COVID. I just had my first shot, feeling great, and the young man that gave me the shot, excellent job, didn't hurt at all. We want to have our students back on campus, we want to have our athletes back on campus full time, we want to get everybody here vaccinated, and we want to get back to normal.
And welcome back to the Spiel. You know, today it kind of has a theme. It's a self-help show. We had Ruth on earlier with an incredible story, and now Zach Hutchinson. You have an incredible story too. Well, it didn't start out incredible.
No.
But I think things are really, really, really going well now. Can we go back and get everyone caught up on your backstory?
Okay, so yeah, my backstory is I basically felt a sense of anxiety and kind of sad and things like that my entire life. And I didn't really know what was going on. And it actually took me until the time I was about 23. I was working a job and I had just a lot of stress on me. And I think everything kind of came to a head around that time. I was working for a company that wasn't a very good company to work for. You know, my wife was in college and we were struggling, you know, financially, trying to get everything done. And I think everything just came together, and I absolutely had to come apart. And I mean,
On the job?
On the job. I left. I went to the doctor. I told them, look, I feel like I'm about to lose it. I don't know what to do here. And they made me take, I think, about 40 days off work. And I went to see some counselors. I got put on some medication. Things were going okay. And I just kind of left it. You know, the medication that I was on just kind of made me numb. It just kind of made me not really care about much of anything. I was kind of like just a robot, you know?
didn't deal with what was going on. You just kind of, you changed.
It was just mainly me. I just got numb. I would go to funerals and I would just, I would be the only one in there not crying. And I felt terrible because, I mean, here everybody's so sad and stuff, and I'm sitting there just like numb, you know what I mean? Just, and it was because of the medication. And I just kept thinking to myself for years and years and years, this is not how I should be living. There has got to be something out there that can change.
That you feel.
Yes. And why is this medicine not working? And it was just a downward spiral from the time I was 23 until about 2 years ago. Everything changed for me dramatically.
Was there an incident?
There was not. And that is what is really, really strange about this whole thing. I became just almost beside myself, depressed, angry, actually furious.
What?
Anything and everything.
Everything made you mad and
everything except my wife and kids. My wife and kids I love dearly. What my thing is a true chemical imbalance. I'll tell you what I did. I like to cut trees. I like to work outside. I was so mad, I cut down hundreds of trees over the summer. You won't believe this, but I was crying most of the time. I was out there and I was on my hands and knees and I was cutting trees down. And I was thinking to myself the whole time, like, what am I going to do? I'm just about to lose it. I'm out here cutting trees and I'm out here working myself to death because I don't want to take my own life, you know? And I had a counselor tell me one time before that if you ever get to the point where you want to take your own life or something, you should go out and work and you should dig a hole. And I said, why? And she said, you'll make yourself so tired you'll forget about that. And that's the only thing that got me through that, because I just worked myself to death. I lost 40 pounds. And people kept saying, what kind of diet are you on? What are you doing? You know? And I'm like, oh, I'm just eating better. Yes, I didn't want to tell them, you know? I started seeing a psychiatric nurse practitioner over there. She's the head of the behavioral health department. She said, Zach, did you know there was a test available that can tell me what medicines your body metabolizes?
I had no idea.
No one does. And that's why I'm here today. There are options out there. This test is called a psychotropic gene test. It's a cheek swab. I got it the very first time I saw her. My results were back within 2 days, and I had a green list, a yellow list, and a red list.
Okay.
All my greens are medications that my body will metabolize correctly. My yellows are ones that will have moderate reactions, and my reds are ones that won't work with me at all. Well, guess how many of the reds I had been on?
A lot.
Yes, several. And I didn't know over the years. And a lot of people have no idea that that test is available.
Is it around here? Or
It is
big
around
city?
here. It is around here.
And you think these were off your whole life?
I guarantee they have been.
Born?
I used to get sick like January 1st when I was in like second grade because I knew we had to go back to school and I was afraid I was going to flunk a test or something. Like that kind of thing. But on the other hand, I'm this type A personality, really outgoing and stuff, so people don't associate me with that.
Sure.
You know, that when I tell them, they think, wow, you're depressed? Man, you're always smiling and stuff. I said, but I've had a fake smile for 30 years. You know what I mean? And I can do it good, you know? But the smile you see today is real.
I'm Scott Walker. I usually use my mechanic background to get your goals accomplished, whether it's a problem or an issue, rather than looking in a book, trying to find a solution that some other person wrote about before that applies. Sometimes you got to create a new solution that maybe doesn't fit a mold. We'll find a way, a legal way.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Blaine. I love treating the population of patients we have. We try to treat our patients just like we would treat our own family members, just like if they were our own mom, father, brothers, sisters, and that's what we all try to do to keep our community thriving and healthy. We are spread out all across Southern Illinois. We treat different townships and areas. I would say we are a great place to go to for your family and your medical health care needs. We look at the whole person and have an integrated approach to your health care.
I reached out to Morgan and told her how bad I was getting. And Morgan says, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a new clinic in Carbondale offering ketamine IV infusions and stellate ganglion blocks. I had been researching ketamine for years because I was going to go to Colorado, I was going to go to California, I was going to go somewhere and get it. Ketamine IV infusions are supposed to be immediate relief from depression. I mean, they're very, very, very effective for depression and PTSD. I was trying to seek them out. And I told Morgan, if you ever see one, please let me know. And she said, if I ever see one, I'm sending you. She knew how bad I was. She called me and told me there was one in Carbondale. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Set me up. So I went for my appointment over there, and the rest is kind of what you see now.
Wow.
Me in a completely different way.
Now, you're acting this way because you said you're the guy with the smile. Mm-hmm. Are you feeling that too?
No, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Dr. Garwin at the Albany Clinic has a well-being scale. When I came in, he asked me where I was on the well-being scale. I was at a number 1.
1 being good?
1 being the worst.
Oh, okay.
I was like suicidal, like I didn't want to be here. I was a number 1. And he said, well, I hope we can change that. And so I started doing my treatments there. I was so low on the scale that I did 16 ketamine IV infusions over a period of, I think, 2 months or 3 months. Felt pretty good, but there was still a lot of other symptoms going on that I couldn't really pinpoint. I was like, what is going on with this obsessive thinking and the fact that I think that I'm nobody? Like, I just look in the mirror and just think, you know, that guy, you know. He said, have you ever considered that you might have PTSD? Actually, my wife said that. And I said, the first thing I said to her was, I wasn't in the military. How could I have PTSD?
I was going to ask you that.
Mm-hmm. No, I am not a veteran. Never been in the military. And so I didn't think I was important enough to claim PTSD because I didn't go overseas and fight, you know. He said, that is one of the most misdiagnosed illnesses that there is.
That's what you think of.
You think of military.
You do.
You think of bad car accidents. You think of sexually abused women. You know, that's what you think of with your PTSD. But I took the PTSD test that he has there and scored off the charts. That leads them into maybe you should get a shot. And I didn't even know what the shot was. All I know is I don't like needles. And I was like, I don't know about getting a shot in my neck.
In the neck?
In the neck, right inside of the neck. Mm-hmm. And what that is called is that's a stellate ganglion block. It is an incredible procedure that you can have done. It deadens the fear, it deadens the fight or flight response. Like if a book drops behind you, you won't freak out thinking it's something bad. You'll just realize it's a book. For me, what the shot did was immediately turn off all of my self-worth, doubt, all of my obsessive thinking and all of the things that run through my mind that I should be doing and that I could do better, instead of it shut it all off.
Yeah.
It was the most incredible thing I've ever been through in my life.
So let's get to today. Mm-hmm. Charity.
Yes.
What's going on with the charity?
I started a charity because of the treatments that I had received. I was speaking to Dr. Garwin several times, and he told me how many vets are in need of these treatments. He was telling me that the VA doesn't offer these treatments, and insurance most of the time doesn't cover them. So these guys a lot of times are out of pocket. And I got to thinking about this, and there's no way these guys should go overseas, fight, see terrible things, and come home and be told no to a treatment just because they can't afford it.
That should be in the papers when they signed up.
It should be, they should get that above everybody else, including me. If I'm having a bad day and I need a stellate, I want the vet to go in front of me. Hey, you deserve it more than me.
So how does your charity help those?
What my charity is designed to do is to offset the cost for any treatments that vets or first responders need. So we're trying to get this charity built up big enough to where one day, and I say trying, but I'm confident we're going to do it. One day we're going to be able to offer flights. We're going to be able to do room and board. We're going to be able to cover their treatments. We'll be able to do all that free of charge. And they'll get state-of-the-art treatments.
How can they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Facebook. We have got a Facebook page that's called Continuing Hope. And it's a brand new page. I just got it up and running. But it's called Continuing Hope. And like, again, I'm Zach Hutchinson. You can look me up on Facebook. There's a picture of me and my kids. Add me. My Facebook's public. My whole life's public. I keep everything pretty much open. You know, I just try to be transparent. And I think that if my story can help somebody, then it's worth being transparent about it and not trying to hide it, you know, and not trying to hide behind not being sad, you know.
Well, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
I mean, I'm sure you're helping people already.
Yep, I appreciate
so,
that.
Again, go to his Facebook and maybe you know, we all know that person, you know,
Everyone
that needs some
does.
help.
Yep,
so
everyone does.
Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Coming up on the Spiel.
We are making a hot brown, a Kentucky hot brown.
Kentucky hot brown.
Yeah.
Never heard of that in my life.
Yeah.
Logan Fitness is all about the community.
I've been coming here for years, and it's like one big family.
It's a place where I can push myself.
Healthy living and socializing with my friends.
I walk into Logan Fitness and I'm always greeted with a smile and someone friendly at the front desk.
There's something here for all ages, and everyone is super friendly.
It's a place where I can become the best person that I can be.
The gym doesn't have to feel like an intimidating place.
She had tried to obtain testing, wasn't able to. We were able to provide the tests for her, and within 2 days we had the results knowing that it was positive.
My name is Shirley McEwan. I came down with some head congestion after sleeping 14 hours. I woke up and I had a low-grade fever.
Our corporation was able to provide testing pretty early. That's how we were able to diagnose some of the patients that we have that are COVID positive. So initially we started her on Zithromax, and we sent her home. We would check on her routinely at least twice a day.
She was very reassuring. It just was a pleasant experience in a really bad time.
5 weeks total, and then she had a negative COVID.
They were there for anything that I needed. I would recommend CRHPC to anyone, and I have recommended them to my own family.
We are taking every precaution to protect our patients, so you need to come in for your regular follow-ups, for immunizations. Children need to see us for well checks. Those are all regular things we do every day, and they still need to keep those appointments.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey everybody, I think you need to subscribe to the Spiel on YouTube now.
And welcome back. It's time to spiel it in our Prairie Farms kitchen. And another exciting guest today, Georgia Million.
Georgia Million.
Georgia Million.
Georgia Million Mills, y'all.
She's from the hills and the hollers of Kentucky.
She is.
Let me hear you say
Born
Kentucky.
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 Yeah.
And
Yeah. You have to stretch that tuck.
Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky.
She is a YouTube sensation. How did that happen?
Whenever we shut down for that pandemic, we needed to find a way to think outside the box and be able to reach our patrons.
No, wait, reach your patrons. Did you have a business before?
No, I'm a outreach librarian, and I deal mainly with elderly and disabled, homebound, that type of situation. And once people in that situation get used to a face and all that, they don't really want to work with other people.
Sure.
You know, it's hard for them.
Yes.
It's hard for everybody. But I thought, well, I'll start from the beginning. A friend of mine, I was at her house, and she said, I really would like to know how to make biscuits. And I said, well, come on, let's go in the kitchen. We'll make some biscuits. She said, you make biscuits? I went, you know I make biscuits. What's wrong with you?
You don't use the can thing?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
But
Okay.
anyhow, we made them, and she went to get her phone to film it. And I said, why are you doing that? And she said, well, because I won't remember. This way I'll remember how to make the biscuits. And I said, well, if we're going to record it, I'll drop it on my work's Facebook page, and that'll be a good way for me to reach my patrons.
Sure.
And it worked. 2.4 million views well.
That is amazing.
And 10 million, it reached 10 million people. But full-on views.
You're a star.
I was a star.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, we got her in here today, and we're really excited because, you know, the Kentucky Derby, she's from Kentucky, and she's going to make us a Kentucky Derby pie.
Right.
Pie. Okay.
Kentucky Derby pie.
I'm ready.
So, the first thing you're going to want to do is get your measurements out, and I've got 1 cup of sugar, a half cup of flour. These walnuts are for after the pie is finished. I've got 1 cup of walnuts and 1 cup of chocolate.
Hang on a minute. You may have a little less than a cup of chocolates. I had a cup.
Somebody nibble?
Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. 2 eggs, a whole stick of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but I usually add a little more. There's probably a teaspoon and 3/4 in there.
Okay.
And you'll need a pie shell.
Okay.
So we get our sugar in there.
Okay.
And I'm going to put a little bit of this flour, like I said, and get our eggs in there. And we need a stick of melted butter.
Okay.
And let's get that in there.
Prairie Farms butter.
And now I mix, yes, Prairie Farms butter. I mix the eggs already are incorporated, because if you mix this hot butter straight into the eggs, you're going to have scrambled eggs, and you'll have to completely start over. So there's a little bit of order to it.
How come you don't like put it right here and go?
I'll drop it.
Okay.
It'll be everywhere. No, I would if I had a batter bowl. And this is, like I said, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
Okay.
And get it incorporated. And then we shall put our...
Oh, that goes in too?
Yes. This is our chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate chips and walnuts.
And
then just get it all mixed up. And
you know, I know batter's bad for you, but I always love licking the bowl out in the little beater deals. Do you that way?
Yeah, I even turn the beater thing off before I lick them.
You're supposed to?
Yeah. And then this bakes on 350 for 1 hour.
1 hour?
Yeah, but you gotta watch it, because you know, ovens are different, just in case.
You don't pre-cook your...
No, do not pre-cook your pie shell. I'm glad you asked that.
Okay.
And it's reminiscent of a cookie versus a pie, because we don't put any syrup in it, which it's heavenly. All right, we are going to put this in the oven for 1 hour at 350 degrees, and it should come out gorgeous and ready for some heavy cream or Cool Whip or some ice cream, and it'll be wonderful. Let's get this in the oven, guys.
My name is Jacqueline Hedger. I am an adult primary care nurse practitioner. We have opened a new office here in Benton, so I am in the Benton Ray Clinic office. The community of Benton is where I have lived my entire life. I am proud to serve the community and to work here where the patients can come in and be seen and be treated and taken care of through the Christopher Ray Clinic. We are family here. We love each other. We love all of our patients, and we treat all of our patients like family.
I'm intrigued here. What's going on with turkey and tomatoes and garlic bread,
bacon,
right?
Yes.
And whatever this is. What is
this?
that?
This is a Mornay sauce. It's a bechamel, and then when you add cheese to it, it makes it a Mornay. The cheese that you would use, you make you a roux, which is called a bechamel.
Yeah.
And that is butter and flour and heavy cream, and then when you're done with all that and it's thickened up like you want it to be, then you add Pecorino Romano cheese, and it creates your Mornay sauce.
Never heard of this.
We are making a hot brown, a Kentucky hot brown.
Kentucky hot brown.
Yes.
Never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, it was invented by the chef of the Brown Hotel in Kentucky in 1926.
Okay.
To feed the partiers, you know, after hours that come in hungry. And it's real easy to make. You have your baking dish, and you get you a...
Oh, so it goes in the oven?
Yes, it goes in the oven. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
And then you get your garlic bread.
Garlic bread.
Or Texas toast. You don't have to have the garlic bread. You can just have Texas toast. And you assemble you some good big chunky pieces of turkey on here.
Wow, that's big.
Yes. Thick, because it's an open-faced sandwich in name only.
Okay.
It's basic, it's a full meal when it's finished.
Well, yeah, look at your, almost like a BLT.
Yeah.
BLTT.
Yeah, BLTT.
To make a turkey.
Then when we get it to this point, then we're gonna get this on here. This is smoked paprika, and it just gives it an extra depth of flavor. And then we'll get our bacon on here, sock it in the oven and get it heated good. We want our tomatoes to blister. About 400 degrees on 10, 12 minutes, something like that.
In a year where everything has changed, career education programs at John A. Logan College have remained hands-on and face-to-face. With state-of-the-art facilities, students are getting the one-on-one attention they need to succeed in a safe, distanced environment. In job fields that are not only in demand now, but also in the future. Where should you go to school? Go to JALC. Why would you go anywhere else?
Chef Rob here. Never forget, choose 100% dairy and accept no substitutes. Dedicated farmers, happy cows, real milk. Prairie Farms Dairy. Check out our website at prairiefarms.com.
All righty, it's time. It's time to taste your cooking, George Emilian.
All right. We've got our pie done. Let's go ahead and get our Kentucky hot brown out. Then what you want to do is put you some Parmesan on top and some fresh chopped parsley, just a little bit for color and presentation, and
now, would
delicious.
you serve that as a serving? This is one serving?
This is one serving. It's an open-faced sandwich, but it's a full meal.
Wow.
It's a full meal.
Okay,
And
do you
then-
want to cut me a little bit? Or you want me to just eat out of there?
You want to try this?
Sure.
Okay.
Got a little bacon, maybe it's too big.
A little turkey.
Turkey, bread.
Yeah.
Cheese.
What do you think? Is that not delicious?
Let me work
It's
on
hot.
this. Put a piece of this for me.
Okay. And see how pretty that pie is? And get some whipped cream on it, or heavy whipping cream, or whatever suits you.
Okay.
And
then
a
what?
little bit of shaved chocolate, just because it's so pretty and easy to do. Let's get some of that on there. And a few little walnuts. And there you go. A little garnish.
pretty.
And it's
You know
so
what?
pretty.
What a great show. Thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you all for having me.
We've had some incredible guests, including Ruth Proctor. Be sure to pick up her book. Talks about a sensitive subject that could apply to you, and you may need someone to talk to about it, some help. It's in her book. Also, too, we have Zach Hutchinson, and Zach talks about depression and what he has found to help him out in depression that you may not know about, something I found out about today. And again, thanks to our sponsor, Prairie Farms. And here we go.
What do you think? Simple and delicious.
Oh my. Kentucky Derby pie.
Kentucky Derby pie and a Kentucky hot brown.
And where do they find you one more time?
Georgia Million Meals. That's YouTube and Facebook. Georgia as like the state, million like the money, and meals, M-E-A-L-S. Georgia Million Meals.
We'll see you next time.
If you guys enjoyed the episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps me keep my job. Thank you. Is that good?